Everybody, it's Mitch, and welcome to my next video. Today is Friday, which of course means it's time for another Dungeons & Dragons description video. And today's is the prestige description of the Iron Mine. Seen right there. Yep, so that's the Iron Mine for you. Now, the Iron Mine. Well, first off, what is an iron mine? Well, basically, the book describes them as somebody that is they use armor to help protect themselves from their mind as well as their body. So they basically they're a very defensive class. They're not just defensive though; they do offense as well. Now the Iron Mind. Generally, more often than not, you're going to want to be a dwarf. And personally, I say if you're a dwarf, you'd probably want to go fighter scion. Would probably be the best route to do it. If you're not a dwarf, I think they said, what was it, ranger, wilder was the most common, which is an alright combination. It makes sense, but I'd say druid scion if you are a dwarf, and dwarf is the best way to go with this. But there's lots of different options. The requirements for this are as follows: base attack bonus 3, not that hard to get really at all. Concentration 8 ranks. Okay, you're definitely going to want a fair number of levels of either a caster class or scion, probably psionic class of some sort, in order to get that. Those are the ones that really get concentration. Let's see, feats, armor proficiency heavy. Now, that one can take a little bit of doing to get. If you're just like a scion, you'll have to take armor proficiency light, armor proficiency medium, armor proficiency heavy. I think they might actually come with light, but still, you might have to take 3 feats. Or you could just take fighter and no feats. So, yeah. You also have the feat Invest Armor, which is a special feat in this book, which is psionic. Basically, you use, I believe, a psionic power in order to increase your armor by 3 or something like that. And then Iron Will, which just ups your will by, I think, by 3. And it also requires that you're able to manifest 1 first-level psionic power, which, yeah, that's easy enough. Just 1 level in any psionic class will get you that one. Yeah. In fact, you don't even have to go pure Scion. You could even go like Psionic Warrior for that. That's actually not a bad way to do it. Like a Psionic Warrior and Fighter. That would work too. Or just pure Psionic Warrior. That would actually work really well as a dwarf. Because Psionic Warrior is really close to this as it is. Or you could just go Scion. I mean, it really just depends. It's personal preference. Like everything else in D&D. There's pluses and minuses to literally everything. Let's talk about what they get first, though. First off, they get an average base attack bonus. So, yeah, I think that's what you get as a Psionic Warrior. I think they might actually get a good one. It's been a while since I've looked at that. Let's see, they also get, at 4 out of 5 levels, they get an additional manifesting class. So that's definitely good, and whenever you get that, it's better when you have a good manifesting class. It's somewhat wasted when you have a subpar one, like the Psionic Warrior is subpar on theirs. So that's one thing to consider. Then they have a good will save, but a bad fortitude and reflex save. In addition to that, they get special abilities. Let's read them off for you. Well, they get Armored Mind, which I believe, let's see, basically as an immediate action. Almost all these are immediate actions, which, here's the thing with immediate actions. They're like a swift action, but they're not. Basically, the difference between a swift and immediate action is the immediate action you can use on your turn or on someone else's turn, which these ones are generally all going to be on someone else's turn because they're all defensive in nature. So you can use them like right after someone's already declared their attack. They're in the middle of their turn, and you can use this to protect against their thing. But the problem with both swift and immediate actions is you only get one of them per turn. That's both together. So if you do this, you can only do it once per turn. You can't use multiple of these immediate action ones per turn, only one of them per turn. And by doing so, you give up your ability to do swift actions. One, you can't have done any swift actions in the turn prior, and two, you can't do any swift actions in your next turn either. So, yeah, that is a little bit of a downside to it. But anyways, let's get on with this. So, as a swift action, Armored Mind, basically they can add their armor bonus to their will save, which is kind of nice. But that doesn't add any magical enhancements. So basically, generally they're going to be wearing heavy armor, so they'll add, like, say it's a full plate, which, I mean, honestly, if you're going to wear heavy armor, you might as well get a freaking full plate. So that's plus 8, especially at this level. There's no reason not to have a full plate or better at this level. At least not that I can think of. If you can think of one, leave it in the comments. I got to hear this. They also get damage reduction while wearing heavy armor. Basically, it's equal to 1/dash, but that goes up to 3 by 8th level. And it does stack with other things that give this. They get Mind Over Body, which basically just lets them... Mind Over Body lets them use their will save instead of another save. It still counts as the other one. So say they have to make a Fortitude or a Reflex save. It still counts as a Fortitude or a Reflex save, but they can use the number they have in the will box instead. So that's pretty cool. But again, that's another immediate action. Then they get Medal of Will. This one's not an action. This one, basically, if they're wearing heavy armor, they can take no damage. If something has a will save for partial, will save completely gets rid of it. So that's pretty awesome. Basically, it's like evasion with will saves, is really what it is. So that's actually really nice, especially for how good their will saves are. Then they get Lend Resolve. Basically, they can expend their psionic charge in order to give that to somebody else, and give them a bonus on a will save equal to their level in this class. And damage reduction, they have to be psionically focused to do. I forgot about that one. So that they lose their damage reduction until they regain their psionic focus, which I think takes a turn or something. It's been a while since I've looked at the psionic rules on that, but I think that's what it is. And then one of their best ones that they get at 10th level is Barbed Mind, which basically it goes really well with Medal of Will too. Basically, if they succeed on will save, then their opponent takes 1d6 points of non-lethal damage, which, okay, it sucks that it's non-lethal, but it's still damage, so that's awesome. And in addition to that, they also take 1 point of wisdom damage. Whoever it was that made you have to do that will save. So it really hurts anybody who is trying to mess with your mind. So that's pretty awesome. And I know there's other feats, there's other psionic abilities that kind of do the same thing. I think there might even be some spells. So you can really do some stuff with that. Oh yeah, Wilder. I can see what. Wilder would actually be kind of nice for that, because Wilder gets something very similar, and I'm pretty sure they would. I don't think they'd stack exactly, but I think they would. Both effects would take place, so they're different. So basically, both would work, which is very nice. That's really all you get with them. So I know initially I said the Scion. I think the Wilder actually would be a little bit better. Although, I don't know, for dwarves, I still think that the Scion fits better, just because the Wilder is just too unfocused for the dwarves. The dwarves have that very rigid, lawful culture. I just don't see them going Wilder. The Scion just fits them better. But for somebody of a different race, although this one is generally focused towards dwarves, yeah, like a human or something, very much could go Wilder Ranger and do some major damage with as a Wilder Ranger Iron Mind. Very nice. Although I don't think either of those get heavy armor, so you might have to throw in a level of fighter or barbarian. Oh no, barbarian doesn't get it either. So fighter or something. Yeah, but honestly, it's a pretty good class. Yeah, basically it focuses on defense. So if you want to have be hard to mess with, definitely a good class to go with. Maybe if you really want to be hard to mess with and up your defense, throw in some stuff with evasion and some classes like that. Some other defensive minds, because this one doesn't help your reflex at all. It's great for your physical defenses and for your mental, but for your dodging ability, not so much. And yeah, still a great class overall. Great class to look into. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about it in the comments. Definitely very interested in your thoughts on the matter. I'd love to geek out with you guys down there. I do try and respond to all my comments. Let's see, what else do we got? If you like the video, definitely consider sharing it with your friends. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, definitely want to do so, because I got another one of these videos every Friday. So, if you want to learn about D&D, definitely want to check that out, because got this whole educational Dungeons and Dragons series. I also have a bunch of other series. I have Naruto character reviews if you're into anime, particularly Naruto. We got that tomorrow, actually, on Saturdays. Then we got another video on Sunday. So that's your whole weekend covered for you if you're really interested. So and every weekend. Plus I've got other videos after that probably by this point. So yeah. Anyways, I'm Mitch. I'll be seeing you.